We often hear that dogs have one of the most powerful noses on earth, and that some breeds, like bloodhounds, are especially gifted sniffers. But what does science really say about these? We are thrilled to be joined by two researchers who have tackled this question head-on, Alice Moton and Deborah J. Co-authors of a fascinating study about the genetic and anatomical determinants of olfaction in dogs and wild canids.
No matter where we went researching, we always came upon these claims in the literature that bloodhounds have so much more olfactory power. And so I thought, well, this is really big in our mentality, that we have this mythology that there is this bloodhound as this kind of, uber smeller, this like super duper sniffer. And I thought, no, let's test it.
So when we started this project, so the hypothesis was like, we will observe some difference between hounds and other breeds because they are known to be good smellers, and we expect to have an olfactory repertoire. So all animals, they have olfactory repertoire, like genes, and we were expecting to have this repertoire being really different between the hounds and between the toy and between the working dogs, and to observe this difference. That was the hypothesis.
This shows the side view of a dog skull. And the part in red that we study is the cribriform plate. And the green is this wonderful labyrinth of bones called the turbinal bones. So they carry the olfactory epithelium that's full of a carpet of sensory neurons. And these sensory neurons send all of their fibers first, individually, and then they bundle up into little fascicles, and they shoot through the holes in the cribriform plate. Down here, you can see it, and you can see from the cranium, so from the posterior view, from the back, from the brain case, you can see the holes through which these olfactory nerves enter the brain through the olfactory bulb. So this concavity, or this little chamber here in C, holds two lobes of the olfactory bulb. And all of the fibers that come from the green turbinal bones, from the epithelium, stream through these holes to reach the brain. This feature really tells you a lot about, because it is an imprint in the bone of everything, every kind of olfactory signal that goes through to the brain from the nose, from the snout. And so it kind of captures this great imprint, and that I figured if I could quantify that, and then I could correct it for body size, and then compare over species, and then in this case breeds, we could learn a lot.
We discovered that our basal hypothesis was actually wrong. So we couldn't observe any difference in genetics between all breeds. And what we observed, though, was a difference between the domestic dogs versus the ancestor, like wolves, where we observed that the olfactory repertoire is different and is higher. Yeah, it was surprising to observe that, and we were like, when we are going to write that, some people will not be happy. But this is also science. I mean, it can also be, we might discover something else. We didn't investigate all of the genes and, like the methods that we use for sequencing. There are new methods now. So, it always can be improved. But with what we had, the number of dogs we had, we discovered with what we had. I think there is something more that perhaps we might think that genetics is important, but training is highly important, and behavior. And so I think that, of course, there are some dogs that are more inclined to hunt, and we can see that. Based on our findings, it seems that they might have the same ability to smell. It's just that they need some training.